When I got pregnant, it was a very happy surprise. My husband and I have been together for several years, and it was, the next step for us, and we were really excited. I wasn't worried about mental health at all. I had no concept that there could be anything that would go wrong, especially before the baby arrived. My mental health problems started really in a very physical sense, so I was exhausted, my headaches were really distracting all the time, to the point where I was struggling to concentrate. My lethargy and my exhaustion built every day. The midwife suggested that I take it slow for a couple of weeks, try and scale back some of my hours at work. About 2 weeks after my first conversation with the midwife, I called in sick to work and fell into the hole that anxiety is. I stopped being able to talk, I stopped being able to communicate to friends, family, anyone. I would become very emotional and cry, and I felt very out of control. I didn't understand what was happening or where these feelings were coming from. I was completely overwhelmed. I started struggling to breathe, and that developed over a few days into what I now know was panic attacks. I was sure that the baby wasn't safe, and that was my biggest worry. I thought, the baby isn't safe in my body feels physically unwell, there must be something wrong. The first person I spoke to was my midwife. I didn't talk to my husband or my mum, who are my two biggest supports. I didn't know how to have that conversation. The midwives were fantastic, and they referred me to all the right people, and it was that support system that really helped. I very quickly linked up with the perinatal mental health team and Sasha. She made it all feel like I could turn it into bite-sized chunks and manage it piece by piece, hour by hour. I started on sertraline, which is an anti-anxiety medication, which helped to minimise my headaches and my physical symptoms to a point where I could access the deep breathing, the meditation, and the talking therapies much more effectively. One of the things I would do was every day I would set myself a goal, so that might be have a shower, or post a letter, or make a phone call. Couldn't bear the thought of being overdue. To go to 42 weeks to me was something that I just couldn't fathom. The consultant made the decision to induce me on the Saturday when I was 38 weeks exactly. The baby was measuring at a good size, and it was the right thing to do for my mental health. I gave birth with gas and air in the end. The midwives were brilliant. They talked to me the whole time and made me feel like everything was okay, even though the baby wasn't crying and was slightly blue. Eventually they gave him to me, and it was one of the most magical experiences I've ever had. I couldn't believe he was there, and he was so perfect. It felt like a cloud had lifted, and I was very aware that I was myself again. I felt like the luckiest person alive. It was awesome. Every day now I focus on my mental health, my physical health. I stretch and I focus on my breathing. Yoga taught me how to rest my body, which therefore helps me rest my mind. It's all connected. I make sure to leave the house every day. It's really important for me personally. Fresh air helps me clear my head, and it connects me with the world again. I'm learning that the anxiety I suffered has a huge silver lining, and that's a self-awareness of my own power and my own ability that I would never have believed possible.